No,
No, thank you. You'll see me next year.
well, 4 seconds in.
All right, good evening, Springfield. Welcome to the Township of Springfield Planning Board meeting, July 8th, 2024. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the sunshine laws. Notice was published on February 8th, 2024 in the local source, which is one of the official newspapers for the Township of Springfield for the year 2024, and posted in the Annex Building on February 8th, 2024. Let's do a salute to the flag. Okay, let's do a roll call.
Committeeman Rich Huber,
See,
Committeeman Alex Kaiser, Mr. David Barnett,
Here.
Ms. Marissa Ruggiero, Mr. Aaron Loffer, Mr. Richard Cedarquist, Ms. Julie Chimeo, Mr. Brian Cantagallo,
Here.
Mr. Scott Wishna, Vice Chair Sharon Kessel, and Chairman Jeff Tiger. We have a quorum.
Perfect. So for the record, for excused absences, Ms. Marissa Ruggiero, Julie Tomeo, and Sharon Kessel reached out requesting an excused absence. We received emails, so those will be excused. Just keep that in the record. Resolution, we have for Ariel Selkin, 5-2024S, 619 Morris Avenue, Block 504, Lot 4, minor site plan, parking variance office space. Everyone have a chance to review that on the Google Drive? That was for this small office rental? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adopt the resolution?
so moved. Second.
Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett,
Yes.
Committeeman Huber, Mr. Wishna, and Chairman Tiger.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
No minutes from last time to approve?
The minutes
Not ready yet, sir.
are ready after the special meeting.
Take your time.
So they'll get,
Why aren't they ready?
because it was just last week.
Yeah.
Oh, we were here last week. Okay.
Want to delay the meeting more, or should we?
Go, I'm leaving at 7.
Oh, the waiver of site plan for AT&T, we're going to move to the ending part of the agenda. If they don't come, it'll be adjourned to August 26th. First application, Terp Taxi LLC, 7-2024S, Lot 3 Dunbar Road, Suite 4, Block 3903, Lot 9. This is preliminary and final site plan conditional use for a cannabis delivery service. Before you begin, Counselor, Mr. Disco is out. I had some opportunity to speak with him regarding the application. He felt there was no concern. He said this is just really an office rental. This was his summary to me this morning. It was just an office rental. No pot or no cannabis or anything will be on site. It's really just a dispatch center, as we called it. There are a few issues in the letter which we'll talk about, which is a no right turn, applying for a permit for the shed, and adding one handicap parking was what his 3 concerns were that he wanted to bring to the board's attention. So, Counselor?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Stephen H. Merman of the law firm of Javerbaum Wargaft. I have to go through the whole list. Hicks, Kahn, Wickstrom, and Simmons appearing on behalf of the applicant, Terp Taxi LLC. As the chairman's already indicated, the purpose of today's hearing is with regard to basically a change of use. But because it is a cannabis licensee, it kicks us into this conditional use category. The conditional use category is that under your ordinances, can only have a cannabis use if it's either in the HC zone as permitted or as a conditional use in the I-40 zone. That's why we're here today. The applicant is here, representatives of the applicant are here, and they will be willing and able to testify if anyone on the board has any questions specifically of them. I think our application was very thorough. I think that the review letters that were provided by both Mr. Mistretta and Mr. Disco also were extremely thorough with regard to the use. Basically, what we have here is a cannabis license, the category 6. It's a very interesting category because it's a category that does not really require the possession of the cannabis for a long period of time. The manner in which this operation is going to proceed is very similar to DoorDash Uber Eats. So the applicant is going to be contracting with various dispensaries throughout the area, throughout the state. They have the ability to do that. And they will be acting as a third-party delivery service for those dispensaries. Whether it's to fill in in the time periods when the dispensaries themselves are not delivering, because they have the ability under the Class 5 license to perform delivery. But right now, not many of them are delivering on a daily basis, because they're still coming up, a lot of product that still needs to be brought in, so there's not as much business. As this business begins to grow, this type of a third-party vendor will have a significant spot within the industry. How they're going to work, as I said, it's very similar to the Uber Eats concept, DoorDash concept. The drivers themselves are going to be responsible for their own vehicles. The drivers themselves are going to be responsible for everything. There will be no vehicles stored relative to this use or overnight on this site, because the drivers themselves are going to have control over their vehicles. There may be a time when we may have more than the 3 persons that we've indicated through our floor plans that we submitted be on site. That would be very limited, only when they would be doing some training as new drivers come on. But the applicant and I have spoke about it, and based upon the parking configuration, based upon the size, basically they're not going to be able to have more than 5 people in the office at any time to do that kind of training. They will also be doing field training with their various independent contractors, because the drivers themselves are going to be independent contractors. One note, my application indicated that the proposed hours were 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Seeing as the ordinance itself says 8 a.m., we have no issue with amending and agreeing to an 8 a.m. start time for the use. Most cannabis retailers don't open until 10 o'clock anyway. So there'll be some overnight contacts. Everything's going to be basically computerized. So
No cannabis will be stored on site.
no cannabis will be stored on site or cash.
Mr. Mistretta, anything to add before we?
Make note if whether or not he has any objection with complying with the comments in our report.
We do not have any objection to any of the comments. The only comment, obviously, that we wanted to address was the 8 a.m. start time.
Yeah, so you'd have to meet all municipal ordinances. One of the things that of approval would be to reach out to the business administrator, assess what permits are needed from the township. There are.
But we do know for a fact that there's a local license that we have to obtain. We are in the process now of proceeding. This is one of the requirements. For that, we are a conditional licensee through the CRC, so we are actually in our 120, 160-day window to meet all of our conditions with the CRC. Getting all the municipal approvals are part of that.
Probably would want a letter from the township administrator, or an email to the building, the secretary, saying that you've met all the ordinances required from the township. So that would be one of the things I think would be helpful. Everyone agree with that? Because none of us on the board know what the township is requiring.
Right, well, Mike actually did a very nice job in his letter indicating what the requirements are.
If he agrees to our letter, we have all the requirements in the letter, and it's captured there under the conditional use and the conditional use for the cannabis. So it's all captured in one spot.
Right. One additional item, Mr. Chairman, just want to address those items that Mr. Disco pointed out. I have been in contact with the landlord. The landlord is going to address those items. Unfortunately, I could not, during the pendency of this application, take on a representation of the landlord. But if required, my firm is going to step in and make sure that all of the requirements, even if it requires coming in for a variance for that shed, will in fact be taken care of.
So Mike wasn't concerned about, Disco wasn't concerned. He wants a permit to go for the shed.
Right.
Does not necessarily have to hold up this application because it's not a safety thing, but as a condition, he wanted the no right turn, I think it was, out of the site.
He said that it was out of date.
What?
The no right turn was an out-of-date sign.
It was an out-of-date sign that needs to be changed, and a handicap spot needs to be in. Those two things would be a condition from the board.
And we have no objection to that on behalf of the applicant, but I have to, of course, take the position that these are responsibilities of the landlord. We will enforce our lease as much as possible to make sure that these things are done.
The shed, what Mike has told me, and I can say on the record, is if he doesn't, they're going to, doesn't apply for the shed permit, he's gonna turn it over to the code official that will deal with it in their own way, if possible. So, do you wanna bring up any witness just to agree?
Yeah,
So
Tommy,
there's
come on.
some testimony on the record, you can ask a few questions, and then we can open up to the board for questions, if any, and if not.
All right, I would call at this time, Tommy, how do you say your last name?
Ginefra.
Ginefra.
Go ahead, Gil.
All right.
Swear you-
Mr. Ginefra, if you could, please raise your right hand. You swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Could you say your name again for the record and spell your last name?
Sure. Thomas Augustus Ginefra. I spell my last name Ginefra.
Counsel.
Thank you. Mr. Ginefra, what is your position with Turp Taxi LLC?
I am the Chief Executive Officer and the founder.
Now, you've heard me make a lot of statements to the board this evening. Do you incorporate those statements? Do you agree with what I've already indicated on the record, that we're going to comply with both the recommendations and letters from Harbor Consultants as well as from Mr. Disco? Now, you've had an opportunity to review those, have you not?
I absolutely have.
Okay, and you have no objections to anything that's currently in the correspondence?
I have no objections.
I really don't have any further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Let me open up to the board to see if any questions of your witness and our applicant. Mr. Wishna, do you want me to start on the other side because you need a minute? Okay.
I think I have my question actually addressed in here. This shed is on site but not being utilized by the applicant.
That's correct.
So this, because it's not conforming and was erected without a permit, it becomes a condition of
Yeah.
Well, no, Mike said was, we don't need to make it a condition of the approval. If the landlord doesn't do anything with it in a reasonable time, the code official will take action like they would on anything else. He didn't think that it needed to be condition of approval because it wasn't anything safety. Did you have a question? Aaron? No question. David?
I have a lot of questions, but none of them are planning board related.
Okay. I don't have any.
No question.
Mr. Huber?
How many places are you gonna be distributing from?
Right now, we're speaking to about 10 stores. We're still in the process of connecting, so I don't have an exact answer for you, but at least 10.
At least 10.
Yeah.
All right, now, I don't know if this is for this, but if somebody orders, you know, whatever it is, from the store, from you, and then you pick it up, how old is the somebody have to be in there, be at that?
They have to be 21 years old.
You check out the ID?
Yes, absolutely, yep.
I'm sure that.
We check their ID on our website, terptaxidelivery.com.
Before you go? In other
Yes.
words, you,
Yes,
because I'm worried about a high school kid staying home, and it, you know, with liquor, it happens all the time,
sure.
and getting a fake ID. So you'll be able to tell people before,
No. So we're going to at least see their identification with a picture on the app. And once we get to the property, we're going to do a physical inspection. And if it shows that it's fake, you know, just as it would be a scenario at a bar, the order is not going to be given and it will be canceled. And I've been doing a lot of research on, you know, how to tell what is fake or not. I have a lot of more research to do, possibly, you know, leading a course with the guys, you know, just to teach them what the specifics are, so mistakes do not happen. Because that's very important to me. I don't want to be that guy that represents a business that ends up dealing with a scenario like that. So I'm doing everything in my power to make sure and ensure, yeah.
the only thing is that
Rich, can you talk on the mic?
you, I'm too sore. No, the only thing is, I could be mistaken in the ordinance that no one can sit in their car and say, you know, if you pull into the one in Springfield, this is, I know Springfield. I think you cannot get anything brought out to the car, you have to go into it. In other words, and this is, and I know it's part of the ordinance, the delivery, but this is defeating that purpose, I think. In other words, like, I can't pull in there, in the one in Springfield, and say, I need whatever it is.
Mr. Hubert, I can answer that question.
Okay.
All right, so there is a very strict set of regulations that has been adopted by the CRC. We talk about the ability to track cannabis from seed to sale. So there are very specific computer matrices. Every time that this product gets touched, they have to shoot it with a gun, and it is monitored to determine where this piece of product goes. So once it goes to a retail store, then after that retail store, the delivery service then gets possession of it. It's all being tracked. The vehicles have GPS. The vehicles are tracked. As long as there's cannabis in that vehicle is being tracked. They have all sorts of computer technology now. We know how this works now because we have cell phones, and I know when we were younger, we wouldn't know about that. Right?
Only a mole.
No. When we were younger.
No, no.
When we were younger.
Yeah.
So the likelihood of a minor actually receiving this cannabis through this process is slim to none, because everybody understands that the first time it happens, that is a license violation. We don't know at this point, since we haven't gone through it yet, what types of hearings and penalties we're going to see for violations of the regulations by a cannabis licensee, such as Terp Taxi here. But it's going to be very similar to the ABC process, both on the state level as well as the municipal level. They have to have two licenses, the state license and the local license. So there really is, I would like to say that there's no possibility. I was a municipal prosecutor for over 28 years. I don't say that based upon what I've seen, but I do know that every precaution has been taken to make sure that this is going to work.
No, if they do deliver, and you know people are gonna try. You know, without a doubt. He could lose his license, am I correct?
Absolutely. Same way the liquor store loses their license. Due process, of course.
Yes.
All right? There's always intent. We'll see how good but we do anticipate, and we've already had this discussion, that there's going to be lots of decoys that are going to be set up, because there's lots of police departments throughout the state who do not believe that this is still an appropriate legal product.
Do they do this anywhere else? Do they deliver?
The delivery?
Like Massachusetts and things
Yes,
like that?
they do delivery in Massachusetts, they do delivery in Colorado, throughout the country. California.
I just have one last question before I open up to the board. If Dave wanted to sign up and be a delivery guy, is it, he can use the you're bored at home, right? You've told me. The question is it an Uber driver that you do? Do they have to be licensed?
No,
They have to be licensed
they have to be licensed
by the state, so background
individually
checks.
by the state of New Jersey to do this.
I'll just do DoorDash.
So it's not only Terp Taxi here, it's also the individual driver.
Okay, perfect. So they have to go through training.
And everyone in the industry. If you're going to touch cannabis, you have to be licensed by the CRC. I've represented several retail stores. I'm not allowed in the back room. I can run to the front of the store, but I'm not allowed in the back room. I do not have credentials from the
What about insurances? Do they have to have special insurance?
They,
If I want to be a driver, do I have to get a special insurance for it? You know, my car with the, I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that. Tom, do you know the answer?
Sure, yeah. We have to insure the driver $1 million up to occurrence in owned and non-owned auto liability insurance. So their vehicle is insured. And we're working with insurance companies such as Dutchy to provide insurance that protects both the cash and the product. At this very moment, the answer is no. We don't have insurance for the product. And there is health insurance as well for the drivers through the union.
Mr. Mistretta, anything further?
No further questions.
Anything from the board? No. None? Seeing anything, I'm going to ask the public, any member of the public here to speak on this application 7-2024S? Seeing no public, remand it back to the board. Anyone with any final questions or concerns before we make a decision? No? Aaron? No. No? Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we're planning the service like starting in Union County, but we speak to stores all across the state. This business thrives on the more stores that sign up. So we're speaking to across statewide.
Okay. I'm going to again reiterate, you have to get whatever, working with the township, an email from the township to the planning board secretary that you've met municipal ordinances before the conditional use would be granted. So, seeing none, I'm going to have to reopen it back up to the public. Any members of the public again wish to speak on this application? Seeing none, I'm going to close it and ask the board to entertain a motion. The only conditions I just want to make sure is they meet, obviously, all the letters with Mr. Disco, and specifically the right-hand turn sign to get fixed, as well as adding a handicap parking spot as a condition. The shed was an FYI to get resolved. Mr. Wishner, you want to make the motion? Canagalo, second, right?
Sure, second.
We have a roll call.
Not me.
Mis-
Go to him last.
Mr. Wishna? Mr. Cantagallo?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Lawfer? Mr. Cedarquist?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Committeeman Huber?
Under lawyer's advice. No, because I'm on township committee, I'm going to abstain from here because you have to go in front of us. again. Okay?
Motion passes.
Perfect. Good luck. Work on your approvals.
Want to make sure.
We'll see David again. The next thing is application, waiver of site plan. Since AT&T is not here, we're
Good
going
luck.
to dismiss it. We're just going to carry this to August 26th. Is that what the date is? Monday, the 26th? 12?
Yes.
Yeah, Monday, the 26th at 6:30 PM. Okay, so anyone in the public that's here on AT&T that wishes to learn about it, come back on August 26th at 6:30. Now, for the board, knowing that meeting is going to be a little bit longer meeting, we need to form a little bit of a subcommittee that's going to be working, a little bit of a subcommittee that's going to be working with the applicant. The Temple is coming in on August 26th. We're going to do a little, meet with them to kind of help look at some of the application in advance. I know that Mr. Barnett and Sharon would like to, anyone else want to volunteer to be a part of that? You want to? Well, you guys decide. Yes, the corner. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think it's, look, there's oh, yeah, it was, so you guys figure it out and let me know who you want to be. I'm totally fine. All right, can I have a motion? What? You need four.
Motion to adjourn.
Yeah, four is good.
You need a subcommittee for the other one, too.
Yeah, actually, one second. Also, Jersey Mike's is, like to come as well before us. There's some discussion that has to be had with that one, so I would like to have a subcommittee with that as well. Who was? Okay, so then you're gonna do the subcommittee. Who else? Mr. Canigallo? We're gonna do that via Zoom. That won't be in person. We'll do that via Zoom. And David? What's our stipend? You get nothing. You get to go to the delivery service.
They're available, just so everyone knows, they're available, Jersey Mike's, their folks are available on Friday at 3.
So can we do a Zoom? Does everyone have a problem with doing that? Yeah, just for 15, 20 minutes, I think. We'll do it via Zoom, not on. We do.
Fridays are
not supposed to be working.
I don't know what happened, but it's crazy. Are we having a master plan meeting?
No, we are not having
I can go to that.
It'd be in the air.
Well, all right.
I have a 3 to 4.
We can set that up afterwards. We don't need to be on the record. So anyone else in the public who wish to speak on any business before the board? Seeing none, can I have a motion to close? Okay, good, we're adjourned. So it's August 26th, remember, August 26th. That is Monday. Always can be Monday, 6:30. There's no court, we confirm, so we won't run into any problems. Happy birthday to your niece, or your granddaughter. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That was a good call. That was a good call.
What about it?